We're at it. Welcome to the Friday edition of the podcast. It's Boomer and Pinder. Sans Warner today. Do we know, is it Detroit or Milwaukee or?
It's Detroit because he was there yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's this one kid of his, get him in a lot of predicaments.
Yeah.
He's traveling all around. He was trying to weigh whether he was going to come from Detroit to Calgary or Detroit back to Buffalo to Calgary or just go back to Detroit or maybe go to Windsor. He had no clue where he was going or what he was doing.
But he is coming to Calgary.
Maybe.
Right.
Until that bastard is
Ryan,
on the
I
plane.
Apologize. Can I take it back?
Yes, thank you.
I'm very sorry for asking you.
You know what I did yesterday? I was mid question. So you were gonna, and I just said, you know what? I can't do this.
Yeah, that's right. You just move on.
I'm done guessing.
Yeah.
It's like asking people like, hey, what are the lottery numbers for the next 649?
They don't know. They can guess.
And they're like, well, I could guess. You're like, no, but you like,
I could give you an answer.
I'm done asking.
Yeah. Done asking. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I've been seeing a lot of people bitching lately, and I maybe bitching's a little harsh, but it feels like outside of one segment of the population, people are ready for the hockey season to be over.
Yeah.
It's summer. We're past the midway point of June.
Oh, yeah.
The draft is next weekend. Shortly thereafter, free agency, July 1st, Canada Long Weekend.
We're a week away from the draft. Like, let's get this thing wrapped.
And still,
could
hockey.
be another 4 days.
So as always, blame Edmonton.
Yeah.
Blame Edmonton. It's their doing. It's their
Batman.
fault. Although the Florida Panthers probably deserve a little bit of...
especially in this instance, yes.
A bit of shit there, as they were not great in at least a couple of the spots.
We're past the bleeping summer solstice. The days are getting shorter already.
The damn solstice.
The days are getting shorter?
The solstice.
What?
Is that how it works?
Yes. The longest day of the year was yesterday.
Christ.
I know.
Thanks, Nenchi.
Freaking Nenchi.
Damn it.
Still playing hockey. Still playing hockey.
We're going to talk to Dregs. He is
Nice.
of the mob, the horde of media that is covering this series. So he will be on with us. It'll be a little more condensed, but should be with us here shortly.
Contingent? Could we call that?
I think it's a contingent. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
His appearance on our show is contingent of when the teams play.
That is true too. Yeah. He's in Edmonton. He hasn't been making the Florida trips, but anytime they're in the cultural capital, they've been there with a presence, as all the other Canadian big broadcasters
Which again,
have been.
Not ideal. I would think. Now, I get it's hot in Florida, but if your boss came to you and said, we're going to send you to the Stanley Cup final, but only one of the locations, you get to go to Edmonton, not Miami. That's a big L.
Unless you got family or, I don't know.
That's an L for sure.
Tough.
Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day. And of course, if you'd like to, you could wear a Hawaiian shirt and
Thanks,
jeans.
Yeah.
See, I don't have the thing.
If you'd like.
Don't have the thing there. We'll get into some other things as well today. It's Parade Day in Boston.
Oh,
so there will be some drunk people in Boston.
If I'm correct, because we've seen so many Boston parades. We had the Kevin Garnett 2 championships. We had the Bruins get 1. The Patriots have had like 1,000. Even the Red Sox ended a 100-year drought. They've had a couple.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's always say, I'll throw it up here for you right now. Forever, they were the laughing stock of the sporting world.
Okay.
The Celtics, the Patriots were terrible. The Bruins hadn't won forever. Ray Bourque had to leave town. Mm-hmm. And there was this was obviously a number of years ago. This kid shows up at one of the parades. 11 years old, 8 parades.
Jeez.
Because the Red Sox had beaten the curse. They'd come back. They'd won it numerous times. Gosh. Patriots had 3. Boston won in 2011. So there's the 11-year-old kid, 8 parades.
I got news for that kid. He wasn't done yet either.
Well, 13-year-old.
Oh, my God.
9 parades. As he was at the 4th Patriots Super Bowl parade. 2 years later, 10 parades for a 15-year-old kid who's now obnoxious. It's getting to be enough.
You couldn't upgrade the sign a little? It's getting a little lazy here, son.
Well, you
have a year.
So then 16 years
now
old.
He's starting to party.
11 parades, another championship. This time the Red Sox get their 4th. And this is today. 22 years old, 13 parades.
Got the QR code. See, he's upgrading.
For this donkey. Yeah, he's got his own little thing. And actually, his name, I thought I wrote it down here.
Jason McKeon is what I see at the bottom of the
it's
QR
actually
codes.
McGillicuddy.
Come on.
His name is
Stop it.
Honest.
Stop it.
Honest. It's
Jason
Boston kid.
McGillicuddy?
I think it's Jackson, like Jax.
Jackson McGillicuddy.
Of course, I can't get my phone to open because
That is outstanding. Dr. McGillicuddy.
Exactly. It's his kid. Patrick. No.
You're just making up names now.
I'm not.
Patrick? Where did the fuck did that
At
go?
Boston Parade Kid on X, Patrick McGillicuddy.
Okay. So he had a different handle. Jason something or other. McKeon was different.
Yeah, it was whatever.
Patrick McGillicuddy. Well done, kid.
So yeah, he's at the parade.
Could we have one?
Did the Stamps have a parade?
Yeah, it's been a while. They sort of did the big lose in the final thing more than win it.
Well, they did win one.
We got a couple with Bo, I think.
Yeah. But it's
Not quite the same.
It feels like this has been more of a, hey, let's meet at Olympic Plaza town. That's kind of been this.
Well, because we already have a big ass parade that's going to dwarf any of the others every year. I think we're only 2 weeks from that parade.
I guess so. Yeah.
But okay, it's not been. And look, if the Stamps are winning, a lot of people will be really into that. It's been the worst of Dave Dickinson's era the last few years, and I think they'll be much better this year.
I could make a sign. Somebody say, I could make a sign. 70 years old, 0 parades.
Yeah, but you're going to be in Chicago the next decade. How many of the Bears going to run for you?
Oh, dude,
you got to get down there for that. You love people. You love crowds.
Yeah,
you love traveling. You love O'Hare. You love the Bears.
I love Rick Ball.
Yeah, Rick.
You know what I mean? It's just got to happen. It's got to happen. But back to our original point, if the Oilers just want to fuck off already, that'd be great.
Please.
And I get this is a hockey show. It's kind of Calgary, but Calgary slanted, but enough. Hey,
you know what I've noticed?
You dragged them back to Alberta.
Woo.
It's a commendable thing. I got to admit, I like that part of it. That's how you get roots in your fan base. We're going to drag them back to Alberta, and they bring them back. You can make the T-shirts, make the signs. We dragged you back. We're dragging the whole thing. It's very cool. I get it.
Yeah,
enough's enough.
And the real trump card is if the Florida Panthers would have put on the Stanley Cup champion T-shirts in Edmonton tonight. That's the merch I'd like to see.
Just finish it, eh?
Yeah, get the job done.
I said before the show, you remember it's the big dilemma. Well, do you want to see the Oilers win, or do you want to see Matthew Tkachuk and Sam Bennett win? I think we're all on the same page now, right?
Totally fine with.
I think we're totally fine.
Yeah.
Jack, you're good with it? If
please.
Yeah, if both Bennett and Tkachuk want to really step up their game,
one's upset.
I'll be glad to watch you lift that thing. Happy for you.
Sam was a good soldier here. Matthew gave you 5-6 sensational years of hockey.
Yeah.
He didn't leave you high and dry like someone else. Could have done some better stuff.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
And look, I don't want to get too nerdy on this, but every day the NHL's PR department is tweeting and publishing releases saying record North American ratings, record US ratings, no comment on the Canadian ratings.
They'd have to be very good, wouldn't they?
I think they're surprisingly not good, or they'd be mentioning it. Now, there is a Canadian team in the final, but if they aren't up over last year, what are we doing here? They're saying they're up in the U.S., they're up in North America, and we have not seen a single Canadians only up over. They won't say it, which tells me it's not been Canada's team as much as the network honks would want it to be, or the Oiler fans would want it to be.
Some of that in the States is kind of saying, hey, ESPN, see?
Yeah.
TNT, see how good this is working out for you? Look at these numbers.
Yeah.
Whereas they don't care in Canada. You dummies got nothing else to do. You're going to watch anyway.
Yeah.
Because I
think they're fine, but I think
Florida Vegas could not have been a huge draw last year compared to what we're watching now.
No, but you're not seeing the up 20% from last year, which they always do, which is odd.
Well, you know what it is? Maybe just somebody's lazy in the old PR department.
You know what you really need to do is get old Seahorn on, because he'd have all that info.
I don't know who that is.
Sales.
Not sure who that
ratings.
is. Third straight opportunity for the Panteros to put this thing to bed.
You got Jack there. What's he laughing at?
Yeah, he likes it. Yeah.
Isn't that the Instagram sneak that he has there?
Something like that. How many times do you need? 3? 3's got to be enough, right?
And look, credit to the Oilers for making everyone nervous and puckering their assholes and making it a series, because 3-0 is a fucking slaughter.
Jeez.
But I'm done with the comeback.
You can tell by the nature of our salty language. We've had enough. We've hit our limit.
We're done here.
Yeah. If Stuart Skinner just wants to shit himself, I mean, you know what? Not him. He
It's
seems like a nice guy.
Skin, you've had a nice run there, Skinny. Sorry about the tough one tonight.
Yeah.
Someone was tweeting it into, manifest.
That's right. Yeah.
Feels, what's that scent? Smells like an OT classic tonight.
Really?
I mean, I didn't smell it, but God, that'd be unreal if we get the right outcome.
Now, I believe only one team has ever lifted the cup other than the Oilers in Edmonton. That would have been the Islanders, correct?
I don't even think they did. I think it's no one's lifted it in Edmonton.
No, I think one visitor. I thought I read this morning. One visitor.
I sent Jack a bit of art from the NHL.
Anyway,
maybe it's no, that wouldn't be it either.
Let's get to our intrepid reporter.
Yeah, he's got answers because we just have questions.
He joins
we
us.
Have no fucking idea.
As he is. This is what it's all about. Look at this. Darren, TSN Insider, joins us from the Rogers, whatever it's called. We get ready for Game 6 tonight. How are we doing, Dregs?
Well, technically, I'm having issues. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
We got you.
Okay. Apologies. I'm trying to get my AirPods going, and they're not working, so I probably sound like I'm reporting from a tin can, which
no,
isn't
you're
the
good.
case. Yeah, we're just getting ready here for the Florida Panthers to get out there for the morning skate.
Yeah.
So, the city is buzzing. You guys should be here with your Oilers sweaters.
We were just
celebrating
lamenting the fact that we weren't closer. We were just saying that.
What I need more of, Dregs, is Oiler fans in my life at full octane and as smug, arrogant, and cocky as they've been in 40 years. That's what I need more of.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, if the Florida Panthers get the job done tonight, then clearly that'll have snuffed out that sort of storyline coming in. But hey, you can't argue with momentum, though, right? And the Oilers have earned that. They've taken it away in Game 4 and in Game 5, but it's a different beast when you're facing elimination for a third straight game.
Yeah, and you wonder for the Florida Panthers, obviously the one game they are no good, and they basically admit as much. Paul Maurice was very complimentary of his team after Game 5 the other night. How much of that is lip service, and how much of that is the Florida Panthers truly thinking that 5-on-5 and in the later stages of that game, they were just fine with their effort and their production?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not lip service because Paul is a very honest guy, especially when he addresses the media pre and post game. I mean, we saw a different demeanor in his approach to the post game after losing Game 5 the other night. It comes down to the basics here. You know, Leon Draisaitl in his media availability a short while ago, he talked about how he hasn't played to his standard. You know, he talked about how he hasn't found his legs in this series yet, and it feels like he's going to need to do that to extend the series tonight. Well, that applies to the Florida Panthers. So Maurice knows that they've got to be way more disciplined in Game 6 than they were in Game 5. You can't keep losing the special teams battles, and they have. The other night, Edmonton goes 2 for 5, 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. Connor Brown gets that shorthanded goal. They've given up 2 shorthanded goals in back-to-back games. So those are the things that they know they can clean up, and they know that they can change, but they need some help. It's not just the details. Like, Sam Reinhart's got to figure out a way to put the puck in the net. Sam Bennett had good looks the other night. He's got to find a way to put the puck in the net. Barkov, go down the list. Verhaeghe is, he's basically been a ghost in the last 3-4 games of this series. So there's lots of positives to look at when you're looking at the Florida Panthers and their approach to Game 6, but it's come now down to execution. All of those guys have got to find a way if Florida's going to hoist the Stanley Cup.
And somehow the Oilers have crawled back into this series without a dominant Leon Draisaitl, whose playoff numbers have been superlative his entire career and really sort of overshadowed McDavid's production in the postseason even. What are you seeing or feeling around Draisaitl? I don't think I've seen him shoot the puck like he normally does for a long time here.
Yeah.
Can't be right to me. But is there still a Draisaitl game available, or is this just all you're going to get is 60 out of 100 right now?
Well, no, I mean, the expectation from Leon and from his teammates and from the coaching staff is that he's going to have a big Game 6, and it feels like he needs to be able to do that. But, what you're seeing, I think we're all seeing. I mean, take a look at his faceoffs. He's getting beat off draws where normally he wouldn't. And in fact, we've seen him get cleaned in a few opportunities, off the draw. So the sense is he's got some sort of hand injury, something that's bothering him. he's not going to disclose that at this point, and nor is he going to use it as an excuse. As I said earlier, he just flat out said, look, I got to be better. I haven't reached my standard, and we're going into game 6 of the Stanley Cup final here. But there's an element of expectation from the coaches, from Leon, and from everyone around that he's going to have a big night, and it kind of feels like he needs to.
What's your read on Bobrovsky? Because we're no longer trotting out the Oilers. Bobrovsky's in their head. Now it feels like it's maybe the other way around, where they've solved him and they're finding a lot of ways to beat him now. Is that just the circumstances, or has he's been so good? It's so hard. It takes one game to put all that to rest, but has he lost a bit of that edge in your mind?
I think he has. I think that's fair. Noodles did a pack the other day after game 5 where he showed Sergei Bobrovsky with his bobbles in game 5. I mean, we all saw him make that save, but he actually whiffed with the paddle trying to stop the puck, and thankfully got the pad down to make what should be, by his standards, a routine save. But how much of this should we be giving credit to the Oilers and their attack? One thing that's become evident to me is that Florida is really having trouble managing the speed of the Edmonton Oilers. And when you attack off the rush the way that they do, I mean, it creates second chances and third opportunities and all of that. And we're seeing more commitment from Edmonton to get on the puck after Sergei Bobrovsky makes that save. So he's human, but he's also got a resume that shows he can steal a night. And if he does that tonight, then this series will end.
You mentioned Reinhart, and the reason I bring it up, I think it was yesterday, the day before, we talked about it. Verhaeghe and certainly Reinhart have been eerily quiet. And Verhaeghe, he's been that money guy. Now, a game winner or a series ender, that's kind of his forte. He could pull that out tonight. But even just watching the body language of Reinhart on that Bouchard goal, he was on the penalty kill. He didn't get out to the point. His gap was no good.
Yeah.
He looks like a shell of himself. He doesn't look close to the guy that scored 57 right now. Is there injury there? Is it the stage? What's your read there?
Yeah, I would submit that there wouldn't be many players on either side that aren't playing with something. But I agree with you. He's not noticeable, and it's not just because he's not scoring at the rate that he did in the regular season. That's pretty clear. It's just, he's missed on some opportunities. So is Carter Verhaeghe. So is Sam Bennett. Go down the list. But I also liked what Paul Maurice did in the second half of that hockey game with the adjustments that he made. And he moved Verhaeghe off that line just to try and freshen things up. That seemed to get Matthew Tkachuk engaged, right? And that was his best game of this series, especially from the midpoint of the game on for Matthew Tkachuk. But again, we're talking about one player. Reinhart, no matter what he's got going on, he's going to have to be a factor. All of those guys that Florida was able to lean on over the course of this postseason, certainly in the regular season, they want to hoist that Stanley Cup, be it tonight or in Game 7. Those guys are going to have to find a way to contribute. Maybe it does start with Reinhart, no different than what we talked about Leon Draisaitl on the Oilers side of things.
From the Oilers side, they've done some winning. You don't generally change a winning lineup. If Evander Kane is close, does he go in, or have we maybe seen the last of Kane?
I don't believe that Evander Kane's going to play tonight. I don't. Information I received this morning was that, look, again, every player is going through treatments, being medicated for a variety of different issues, and Kane is among those. He had a good practice yesterday. They liked the way he looked in his first full practice in a long, long time. So I think there was encouraging signs, and that's why there was at least some hint or expectation that he could be an option in Game 6. What I was told either yesterday or this morning, the pain meds that normally have worked didn't take, and I don't think he's playing. And I'm okay with that too, right? I mean, the Oilers, without Evander Kane, have played well. So, even if he had been close, do you bring him into the mix at 60% or less and take out Derek Ryan, who's been an effective player for the Oilers, especially defensively up front? Or do you stand pat with a winning lineup? But I think it's injury that's going to keep Kane out of this series moving forward.
That's about as much Oilers stuff as we can take. I think we've done pretty well. Jacob Markstrom is a New Jersey Devil. Your thoughts on the return? It's a first and a player, which that's what people wanted.
Yeah.
Except the first isn't this year, and it's not 10th, and the player maybe isn't as sexy. But what do you think of the work that Craig Conroy was able to do here?
I think it was good work. I think this is a good deal for both teams here. And I know that's cliche, but I believe that. I think that Tom Fitzgerald of the New Jersey Devils finally realized that Calgary wasn't going to give this guy away. I think that the original offer was a player from New Jersey and a conditional draft pick, and maybe as low as a third-round draft pick, and that just wasn't going to cut it. That wasn't going to get it done. And look, there were other options. We all know that Markstrom wanted to go to New Jersey. He had waived to go to New Jersey. The deal fell apart, but he was still willing and wanted to go to the New Jersey Devils. But I was told by good sources that he was intrigued by the idea of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And it didn't get to a place where Conroy and Brad Treliving had reached an agreement on what a package might look like. Obviously, there would have been a hefty salary retention. There would have been a first-round draft pick. Probably a Toronto Maple Leaf defenseman would have been involved in that transaction. But then you're taking the gamble a little bit. Okay, are we sure that Markstrom is going to waive? And I don't think that anybody was sure of anything at that point. And by the way, it's not like, Fitzgerald and the New Jersey Devils were just focused on Jacob Markstrom and that was it. He was the goaltender that they wanted. He was priority one. But I also know Fitzy was talking to the Boston Bruins about Linus Ullmark, and he was looking at some other goalie options. So I think Conroy and the Calgary Flames were wise to pull the trigger on it at this point.
Any sense of where this deal was relative to the one that allegedly fell apart in February? And then also, while you got a moment, just a thought on Kevin Bahl, what he is and what he could be.
Well, Kevin Bahl, if you want to start there, I mean, he is a mountain of a human being. Like, this guy is large, and you don't know what he could be. I mean, the projections, according to the Flame sources that I talked to yesterday, are that he has the capability of potentially being a top four guy, a 4-5 guy. But as we also know, NHL defense take a lot longer to develop normally. You look at somewhere in that 200 to 250, maybe upwards of 300 NHL games played before you know what you have. But they're happy with Kevin Bahl. They feel like he was certainly a better player than the player that was originally suggested as part of this trade. But this deal wasn't going down with the Devils without a first-round draft pick being attached to it. And I would also submit that, look, Kevin Bahl isn't going to be a game changer for the Calgary Flames anytime soon, but he's a serviceable defenseman. I think that that's an area, though, that Conroy and the Flames are going to work hard on improving here in the days and the weeks ahead.
I guess, and so now for teams like Toronto, and I know Ottawa was kind of in that mix.
Yeah.
So where is it? Ullmark, I guess. Who's in that? I think I read this morning. Columbus says they're going with Merzlikins. I don't know
they
what
like
now.
Tarasov too.
Yeah, and I don't know where that puts Saros. It never really felt like Saros was going to leave, but I guess the goalie market now, as you see,
it's a tough one. Yeah, the goalie market is a challenging one right now. I'm told that Kevin Epp, who represents UC Saros, is going to meet with Barry Trotz in Vegas. So that's just continuing the negotiation on what a contract extension with Nashville would look like. Unless Linus Ullmark has a change of heart, I don't think he wants to come into Canada. So that would take Ottawa and Toronto, obviously, out of the equation. So then it gets thinner, doesn't it? Tristan Jarry rumors are out there. What's going to happen with Casey DeSmith with his contract? Georgiev rumors are out there. Bennington and the St. Louis Blues, those trade rumors are out there. Then you look at some of the other pieces. There's been speculation around Laurent Brossoit. Could he be a good fit for the Toronto Maple Leafs? I'm just trying to think off the top of my head of not.
Yeah.
Well, how about the goalie here? Anthony Stolarz with the Florida Panthers. This guy's legit, but they're not Jacob Markstrom. So Ottawa needs a goalie upgrade. Korpisalo and Anton Forsberg did not get the job done last year. Toronto was really hungry for a goalie upgrade. Well, they're not likely going to get that, so maybe they do try and push Joseph Woll a little bit more, and they bring in a 1A, which would be somebody like Stolarz or Larry Brossoit.
as Noodles would call him.
Little Noodles
Larry.
sliding in. I see that.
A little Larry.
We know
that was a nod to Noodles. That's what that was.
Dregs, we could talk about it next week, but I am curious the fallout of this. Whether Edmonton wins or loses, they don't have a GM for next year. Whether Florida wins or loses, Montour and Reinhart don't have contracts. There's certainly a lot of dead cap next year in Edmonton. They're going to try to make some moves. I'm curious to see how it goes, and I guess what Dean will check in next week.
Yeah, I guess just that would be the thoughts on this series. It's been watching McDavid. We truly have been watching some of the greatest stuff ever. Has he got enough to continue to drag? He's not just dragging Florida. He's dragging the Oilers. He's dragging everybody with him right now. Has he got enough left?
I think he does. I mean, what we've seen from Connor McDavid throughout the postseason, but in the last couple of games, is obviously next level stuff. I mean, 4 points in game 4, followed up by 4 points in game 5. I don't care. I'm not a voter for the Conn Smythe. I don't have a ballot. I think he's got a lock on this thing. I do. Win or lose. I think McDavid.
Bobrovsky shutout's the only thing that stops him. Is that fair?
Maybe, but he's just. I'm going to name drop here. I talked to Scott Niedermayer yesterday, and we were talking about a lot of different things, but the one thing that he mentioned was when you've got a perfect balance between will and skill in an elite level player, you've got something unique, almost unicornish, and that's what you had in Mario Lemieux back in the heyday. Wayne Gretzky, obviously. Sidney Crosby, absolutely, with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And Connor McDavid right now in this Stanley Cup final. So I think he's more than capable of doing something special here on home ice and dragging this series back into Florida for a Game 7.
All right, fella. We'll let you get to it. Appreciate you. This is a busy time for you. I know we'll hook up next week at some point. Obviously, we know the July 1 and all that, but we'll get you in next week.
Thanks, Drex.
Well, we'll have lots to talk about next week, guys.
No kidding. Be careful up there. There he goes. Darren Dreger.
You get stabby up there.
TSN and Hockey Insider joining us here.
There's a certain outcome tonight where that city gets a little dark.
Well, yeah. I mean, any city would, I guess.
Yes, but there's just a propensity for.
I know you want it to be. I know.
No, I'm not saying it's going to burn. It's not Vancouver, but look, we've already seen how many videos of Oilers fans fighting Oilers fans.
Yeah.
I don't recall seeing those here ever. I don't know. Maybe I'm on the wrong accounts.
Well, again, maybe, I don't know. It's been a long time since this team's gone on any kind of a run. They wanted to,
lost to bleep in Edmonton and no one even got mad.
I know.
That's very nice to Dregs. Morning Skate join us.
He's a busy boy. Yeah, busy boy. How about that's a pretty good name drop. And I would drop that too if I had it. So I was chatting with
the good Niedermayer,
the guy who's won everything there is to win in the sport. Scott
NHL championship.
Has he made the Hall of Fame? Oh, he has.
Yes. Hall of Fame.
He's made the Hall of Fame.
Everything. Norris is. Conn Smythes?
Enough's enough with this series.
Go away.
Enough.
I want to see some boat parties in Miami and report on those Monday.
Yeah, do the Tom Brady, throw the cup from boat to boat, do what you got to do down there, get all hammered and stagger around.
Phil Pritchard in his suit with the bad hair diving in after the thing.
Yeah, that'd be all right. I'm up for all that.
It's coming out like a wet dog.
Now, did you guys talk about this other trade yesterday?
Yeah, because Pierre-Luc Dubois was public enemy number 1 for him this year. I don't know that an NHLer took it in the teeth more than Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Dubois,
he nicknamed him and coined him.
I think it was me, but that's fine.
Yeah, sure. And that's great.
He's not that clever.
Copyright it, sell t-shirts, do what you got to do.
Acquire.
It's a fascinating deal because I have no idea who's won it and who's lost it. And
Dubois is spelt wrong, just so we are on the record.
Unbelievable, yeah. And that's not Jack, just for the record. And then secondly, it's like, in 5 years, someone will have won it in a landslide. I don't see ties here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Dubois either is a 26-year-old number 1 center that can flirt with 30 goals and get you 60 points, or he's a locker room cancer. It doesn't feel like it's like, and it turned out he was in the middle and he was okay. Like, no, that's not really how he goes. He's either engaged or he's not. And Kemper's just going to be a guy, and it helps them balance the money. And he was passed by Lindgren last year.
And if you feel like if you're the LA Kings and you got into last season, and your coach, your teammates, your captain, everybody in that room is this is what have we done here? Mm-hmm. And you signed him to this extension.
8.5.
This might be the biggest get out of jail free card. I was trying to think. Remember Vernon Wells with the Blue Jays? It's like you can't trade him, you can't do anything with him, and then finally they did trade him.
The Angels.
And this just feels like it. Now maybe he does, but it sure seems like this is. I don't know what Washington is doing.
They're just stuck in mid-land, and because Netsov's gone and Backstrom's health issues will keep him from ever playing again, they just don't have a skilled center. Backstrom
done. They want to get Ovi to the
over
Gretzky mark.
And to be fair, like they're not bad enough to pick high. If there was ever a way to find a number one franchise center at 26 years of age for almost free, it would have to be this type of scenario where everyone is just like, character issues, I'm done with the guy. Like the stock can't be lower.
That was the thing, because we kind of kicked around it here. Now there was some thought, do you buy him out? Trade him for Huberdeau and then buy whatever that is. But it's all the stuff that's dogged him doesn't go away. Now maybe he does figure it out. But the most troubling part, among the troubling parts, I guess, but you feel like we can maybe make the right coach, get him to play, find some systems, get him in the right spot. Mm-hmm. Guys don't like him. Those guys in LA did not like this.
Wasn't a fit there. It just wasn't. And
that contract and term is still the same.
Yeah.
It's a dice roll, it feels like, for me.
It is a big dice roll. It's a super risky one, but if it pays off, it's one of the savviest pickups ever, because people are going to look back and be like, how did no one else want this 220-pound, 6'4" bull in the China shop? And in a bad year in Winnipeg, he nearly went 30-60. Like, what are we talking about here? But then the flip side is like, you just can't poison the well, which is your locker room.
And if you poison the well, you can't just get rid of it.
No, you're like, that's it. If this happens in a fourth market, it's an immovable object.
And if he's got a year left or 2 years left on the deal, you can kind of dig in and live with it. But I was very surprised to see that.
Yeah. And so I mentioned it to Rhett yesterday. Someone had said, what do you make of this? Like, what the hell's Rob Blake doing? I'm like, I'm not sure. It's either the best trade he's ever made or the worst. I'll let you know in 5 years.
Yeah.
See, I get why Rob Blake does it. Or it's like, holy shit, look at all the assets you gave up to get this guy, and now you're just throwing him away for a 35-year-old goaltender making too much money.
Yeah, I don't see it that way at all. That he was able to.
I agree. He got himself out of this thing.
If anyone, I mean, whatever Kemper is or whatever, you got rid of that term and that presence from your locker room and that money back. It
could be the greatest move he's ever made.
Quite a move.
It's wild.
The internet had thoughts.
Polarizing.
I don't know if the internet being what it is.
Did you see the clip from the show there? That was beautiful.
No, I didn't.
Oh, we gotta play.
I tend not to watch if I'm not on the show. So there's Pierre-Luc Dubois to the Capitals for the next 8 years. I hope you're hungry for nothing. And of course, was there one more? Did I put? Yeah, it's good. This one's coming up here. Did the Washington Capitals buy out cap friendly so they can make people forget how bad PLD's contract is?
Now, again, if he's going to be a 30-goal guy, that is a steal of a contract. It's everything else.
Yeah. Well, and the Kings felt that way too.
100%.
If this guy's a 30-goal guy.
Yeah. Just wait till he's happy.
We're going to be great.
It seems like it's a motivator cuff injury.
Not sure what it is.
Because it's like, how do you have all those tools and done all you've done? But he hasn't even turned 26 yet. He's 26 in 3 days.
Yeah.
How?
Happy birthday, PLD. That's the other thing. The whole hockey world is like, this guy stinks. This guy's awesome. It's awful. This guy, what a cancer in the room. This guy's a shithead. Hey guys, how you doing? You guys go have some wings? No, Dubois. We don't want to go for wings.
You gotta try though. That's part of your job. You're like, okay, the new guy's got a little bit of. We'll invite him out, and then he'll slowly just burn all the bridges, or it'll be like, yeah, he was 25. He figured it out. But I'm kind of with you. I think it's more likely that Washington will want the redo on this, not LA. LA's like, we got $3 million cap space, and rather than worried about the sunk costs, like we can't go get those picks and players back from Winnipeg. Those are gone. So we just have to move from here, looking forward, what's best for us. And clearly hearing those quotes from Doughty in the locker room, Todd McClellan looked like he was done with life, having to coach that team. They had to fire him. Like, I think they're thrilled to have him out of there. They clearly are.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think if you know what, rather than give credit to the wrong person, I just won't give credit at all. How about that? I think we like to try and when somebody has a scoop or somebody has a report or whatever, you try and give it that person the nod. But read this morning that Rich Winter, hockey agent, Edmonton-based hockey agent, has was interviewed in the last couple days, and he is the agent for Mark Giordano, whose contract is up with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He went there in the trade with Seattle, and then signed a team-friendly deal in the $800,000 mark, basically
for Toronto.
Whatever you got in the couch cushions tree, I'll take it.
League man
wouldn't have been tree at the time, but took whatever was it tree at the time.
Would have been close because he ran the draft. Yep. I don't know when that extension happened, but I think it probably would have been.
Anywho,
chances tree.
Or
was it a 2-year $800,000?
Giordano's 2 years older now from when he signed that contract. Says he's not done. This is the quote from Rich Winter. Mark has made the decision that he's playing for a few more years. He feels very confident. He's been talking to a lot of people who tell him, don't quit until they make you. He clearly wants to play. It's funny, that quote, the second part of it, we've heard Rhett say the same thing. Do not quit until they make you. That was his advice, because he obviously would have loved to have kept playing. If someone's going to pay you, give you a job, give you a chance, go get it, because you'll be done playing soon enough and you may look back and regret it. So now I guess the question is, what does Giordano have left to play? He wants to play. Will a team find him as a serviceable defenseman? At what part of their depth chart? And then you kick it a little bit further. Would the Calgary Flames be a team that might be in that conversation? Because there's a few things that maybe
need some defensive depth. There's no question.
Check the box. You want some veteran presence on the back end. You don't want long-term contracts. You don't want big money contracts. You don't want to bring in.
You don't want long-term
someone that isn't going to be a good fit. And for Giordano, he's been here. I wonder if the opportunity to finish things out as a Flame once again might be appetizing to him. I'm sure he'd like to go and maybe win a Stanley Cup, but I don't know how many, at least right now, Cup teams would be saying this guy's going to play for us next year.
I'm trying to find his card here because I just don't know where he's at and what he's contributing anymore. It still looks like the metrics are pretty solid, and that's incredible given he's the oldest player of the league last year.
And for the Flames, that stuff almost wouldn't matter as long as his game is at a certain point.
Yeah,
right?
And that's what I mean. It's like if it's you've seen guys that it's like, oh, he's just it's over now. And maybe we were there with Giordano in the playoffs this year, or because he was healthy by the Leafs in that series against Boston, but it's also the end of the year. Their injuries, they kind of brought in a lot of 5-6 defensemen. If you could put this guy on a third pair and you think you're going to get decent minutes, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. Unless there's some sort of organizational friction. But I mean, geez, like he left because of the expansion draft. There's no drama.
Yeah. I would understand if they had traded him.
Right.
Then there might be friction.
It was kind of like our hands are tied. Sorry. Like we love this guy. We wish we could do more. They went to the point of not trading him to try to not.
Yeah, they did right by him by not trading him, essentially getting nothing for him.
Yeah, they did wrong for themselves to do him right. We laughed at that. They're like, you're going to miss the playoffs this year. The expansion draft's in 3 months, and you're not going to trade this guy?
Yeah.
It was a little crazy.
And again, I kind of submit that it might be a good idea. And I say that not in the spirit of this makes them a better team. They're going to be closer to making a playoff spot.
It would, though. I mean, he's going to be better than Braden Bahl and Hanley and Solovyov. If he's going to get a contract, he's better than those guys. Now, the question is, if you're Mark Giordano, are you not just strictly cup hunting right now?
I think
I'll go make league minimum and be your 7. I think that's kind of what he would offer a contender right now. Like if Florida says, yeah, we're going to keep Reinhart, we got to lose him on tour, we've got some kids. Like Mark, if you come here, you might play 30 to 50 games, depending on what kind of injury issues we get into. We're absolutely not going to use you on back-to-backs. You'd be like rotating through. I think that's what he'd look for.
Yeah, I think he would too. I don't know if he's going to find it, I guess is all. I'm not sure.
And so if he can't be a 7 for a contender, can he be a 6 here? Maybe.
And what do you need out of him?
It's number 6,
right?
It's not a high bar
for him to play here. Is partially about performance and ability on the ice, and it's also about being a guy in the room at a time when it's a young team and they could use some good fellas, some good people in that room, and he is that.
Yeah, it's
that said,
I'm looking like they've got. He's going to be better than Bahl and Hanley, and that's at this point that's your third pair. As scary as that might be,
yeah.
Those are two waiver claim guys, right? Like essentially.
Yeah. So to again, just repeat what you're saying and kind of preface it. I think he would rather go somewhere else, but if it came down to not playing or playing, I think he would take it.
Knows the market. I think he's got great relationships here. He was beloved as a Flame. I think he's sort of fringy to get up into the rafters. There might be something full circle and, about him retiring a Flame if it were to go that way. But I'm curious what happened because I thought he had a pretty good run in Toronto, but they just didn't use him down the stretch.
I think in Toronto, they're in a spot that they're pretty limited to what they can just run back.
Oh, I know he's not going back. I just meant his usage with them down the stretch. Like, but they just added a lot of D also. It was like, come on in, Edmondson, come on in. Like they just had a lot of like bottom half of the D-core guys. Like what Toronto needs is a top four guy. And so it was kind of too many guys that had the role that he would normally have.
Yeah,
that's why he got pushed.
Was it Benoit who ended up coming on near the end of the season and into the playoffs?
They added a couple D-men. Yeah, like who was the other lumbering dummy that they brought in? God.
Yeah, I don't.
Classic Treliving third pair guy at the deadline. They brought in two. So I think that's where his minutes just went away.
So anyway, I mean, if they're, I'm giving it the stamp of approval if Craig needs it under certain circumstances.
So Craig, if you had a chance to chat with Craig, you saw Craig, you'd say, I'm okay with this.
That's right.
Okay, good.
I'll submit that to
I'm surprised you're okay.
If I happen to see him. If I happen to see him,
right,
I'll let him know. You want to do the Pinder Report?
Let's get at it, man. And I do have one more like Pierre-Luc Dubois meme for you because like,
do you really?
We got a good cackle out of it, and I think it's a show that you liked.
Do you want to do it in the thing, or do you want to do it now?
It depends if Jack's ready or not because I just threw it back.
Well, if you're not going to do Dubois in the thing, then we should do it now. I can tell you.
If Jack's ready, we'll do it now.
Because I can tell you that this is kind of opening statements today. We kind of got, because Dreger came in and then we kind of moved some things around. But opening statements here on a Stanley Cup final game day is a presentation of McLeod Law. Shane King, he's a partner in the litigation and dispute resolution group. Peter Klein, personal injury guy, disability insurance. He'll help you out there. And these are just a couple of the guys that we tell you about. The men and women who work at McLeod Law are the very best. They're Calgary. It's the Calgary roots that make them special. You'll see a lot of commercials or whatever for.
You're not calling some 1-800 number with people in Toronto. These are Calgarians.
You don't know what you're getting, who you're getting. Do they really care? Do they know what?
Do they know the market?
Calgary roots, big part of their long-standing client relationships. They understand the city and the people in it and the way things work and like the communities that they serve. McLeod Law team, varied and diverse, sharing a commitment to making a positive impact in Calgary.
You know who might be needing? I might have even called McLeod Law yesterday.
Who's that?
Barclay Goodrow. Did you see that? So it sounds like the Sharks clearly like Barclay Goodrow. They claimed him on waivers. Geez, if the Sharks really liked him and the significant salary there, like why didn't the Rangers trade him there? Well, Larry Brooks out of New York, who I believe writes for the Post, has been reporting that he believes they tried to trade Barclay Goodrow to San Jose, but he's got a 15-team no-trade list, and he may or may not like the area, but we know San Jose's bad. They've been last in the league or second or third last for a while here, and they're not close to coming out of that. So Barclay's like, nah, I'm blocking that. And Chris Drury's like, cool, bud, we're putting you on waivers. It's not a no movement clause, it's a no trade. So putting you on waivers ain't a trade, and guess who has number one priority? The Sharks. Bam!
Yeah.
Hello, Peter Klein. Do I have any recourse here?
I've been done dirty here.
Exactly.
Dirty. Yeah.
Greasy, but hey, like you want to be a GM. It's not about making friends. You got to be cutthroat now and then, especially when you look at the Rangers where they're at in their window.
Do you think, because when you lay it out like that, Drury has to tell him, I'm going to put you on waivers.
I'm getting you to San Jose either way.
San Jose is probably going to take you. They want you.
I think. Yeah, and Barclay might have been like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Like, I have a list of 15 teams. I don't hate 15 places. You gave me the right to have a list. Here's my list. Well played. Nice gambit.
Yeah, at least, hey, maybe it's like, F you, I don't want to go. No, you're not getting anything back in trade.
Yeah.
Put me on waivers, you get nothing.
So, Barclay, the Rangers, we paid you around, I'm doing the math here, $10, $12 million last 3 years. We really enjoyed you here. We hope you liked your time in Manhattan. We could get like a pick for you if you just accept this deal. You're going to get there anyway. Like they have first priority in waiver claim. No, screw you guys.
No. You'll take nothing and like it.
Okay, here's the Pierre-Luc Dubois thing. So I didn't see enough of this sitcom, but
I see it in the screen
it's
already.
amazing.
So I'm smiling.
So this is the Washington War Room talking about Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Well, did it work for those people?
No, it never does. I mean, these people somehow delude themselves into thinking it might, but it might work for us.
That's Dr. Tobias Funke.
Yes, Seravalli, good acting.
He's a never nude. I don't know if
he's
you
a
knew
never
that.
nude. That's
yeah,
right.
He's a never nude.
And what happened when he was covered in the blue paint?
Yeah, he blew himself.
Jack, you familiar?
No.
No. Tell me about this.
I'm telling you, it's
a great show. How many
Arrested
seasons was it?
Development. It was one of those shows. It was on Fox, and it was on for a couple of seasons or something.
Yeah.
And the ratings weren't good, but the people that loved it loved it.
And so they had to bring it back, right?
And they brought it back.
Yeah.
And then there was a movie.
Yeah.
At the end, it's Jason Bateman.
Oh
and,
God, is it funny?
Will Arnett.
Is it? And who's the
Job?
The Latin chick that's married to the dad? She's amazing as well.
No, that's the other.
I always confuse these two shows. Why? That's Modern Family. Okay, regroup.
Yeah. And then there's the two guys, but the one has a kid. No, that's 2.5 Men.
No, that's not similar at all.
That's How I Met Your Mother.
That's Perfect Strangers. You're way off. That's Bulky Bartakabas.
No, that's Breaking Bad.
And then they went and they made Crystal.
They didn't make meth on Arrested Development.
But then the next season it was animated, and the guy worked at the power plant. That's The Simpsons, you idiot.
Yeah. There's money in the banana stand. You'll like it. The corn baller.
So good.
You'll love it. I've made a terrible mistake. Okay, let's do the Pinder Report. It's a presentation of Village Honda. Save the date, August 24th,
Bam.
the 4th annual Honda and Acura Show and Shine. The event bigger and better every year. Awards for Best in Show, Best in Modified, Best Classic, and new for this year, the People's Choice Award. You can register now online. Find out more info if you need it. VillageHonda.com. And if you're looking for vehicles, they've always got something going on up there.
Yeah, they do. It's over 500 units if you're
so we could just
pre-owned.
we could park all the cars out here and just let people come in and pay full price. Or we could try and find some incentive and do come up with some ideas and reasons for people why they should come here instead of other places. They do that a lot.
Good people.
They present the Pinder Report.
And the Dutch play today. Our boy Anthony.
Who are the Netherlands? Who's in?
Playing the French. Holland, the Dutch, the Netherlands, France. Big one. Big one.
All the same place.
See it in the Betway bets later.
France, Netherlands, the Dutch.
Stakes are high, Dean. Here's what we're looking at tonight in the cultural capital. Well, no team in the past 78 years has come back from 3-0 to force a game 7. That's a while. Is that the year you got your driver's license? When was it? That
78 years ago?
42?
Yeah. Had a 3 in the tree. It was a column.
3 in the tree.
Yeah.
Okay. And then secondly, no team has ever defeated the Oilers in Edmonton
Oh, that's interesting, guys.
to lift the cup.
See?
One of those things will change tonight. Either it's the first time in nearly 80 years that a team's come back from 3-0 to force game 7, or the enemy has raised Lord Stanley's holy grail in Edmonton. The Flames in 89, by the way, were the first team to do that in the Forum that weren't a Montreal-based team, which was an impressive feat. So, again, more reasons for Calgarians to cheer against the Oilers.
Are you heading up?
Obviously. Huge fan. Sanderette yesterday. A lot of orange and blue around Calgary. Not impressed. I'm taking numbers. I'm keeping receipts.
Yeah, but there are people that have really bought into this Canada's team thing.
It's the casual fans, and that's what drives me nuts. Because if you actually are hardcore Flames fans, you don't just flippy floppy with your rival. But it's like my mom's like, "Oh, that's cute. It's a team from Canada," and you're like, "Oh my god, what are we doing here?" Trust the people that know these things.
Orange is my favorite color. That's great.
McDavid is good. Ugh. Yes, he's good. We get 4 nations and Olympics, the next 2 winners. We can cheer for him then.
Now that said, if they pull this off,
It's one of the greatest.
We're talking about one of the greatest things ever done in sport.
I'm gonna have to can't. I'm a window washer if that happens. I can't do this anymore.
It will be tough for you for sure.
Tough. This is nightmare fuel.
This is an off-air conversation.
Jeez.
What the fuck? I've got a lot invested into this.
A lot of takes tied into them not winning this year.
Yeah.
I got like
a lifetime.
I got like 65,000 parlays ready to hit if they don't win this thing this year. Okay. That's the equivalent. As for Matthew Tkachuk in the Florida Panthers, he's been good in elimination games. And as Dreger noted, probably his best game of the series, game 5 in Florida, where they rallied nearly twice from 3-goal deficits. Only Sam Bennett whiffing on an empty net allowed that thing to end in regulation, essentially. Tkachuk, 1 point in 10 of the 14 elimination games he's played in, including multiple points in half of his last 8. That's not bad.
Come on,
okay.
Chucky.
Come on, Chucky, please. Listen, God, it didn't end the best here, okay? Chuck, just you me. We respect you. I'll lobby and we'll start getting signatures for a statue of you here if you can pull this shit off, okay? That'd be something.
Yeah, or if not a statue, then maybe one of those forever aflame things that they hang up there.
Keys to the city, whatever.
Yeah.
Name a street after him.
You know how some places they'll have like Billy Joel's got banners in Philadelphia, New York. Like,
was it Bon Jovi in Toronto? For
yeah,
some
you don't
reason?
play
Stupid.
here. You were here for a very short time, but it would mean a lot.
You know what I'd do if this happens? And listen, we're asking a lot here. If this just happens and we don't get any else, that's great. That's more than enough.
Yeah.
But if you could rename the southbound section of Deerfoot as it comes into Calgary from Airdrie to Calgary, Matthew Tkachuk Way, so that every time those honks have to come to the better city in Alberta, they got to see that shit.
It doesn't have to be the whole thing.
Oh my God.
Just
Airdrie to Calgary.
Yeah.
Matthew Tkachuk corridor. Love it.
Come on, Chucky.
Let's go, baby. McDavid, though, is the problem, Dean. If they somehow don't win the Stanley Cup, they will have wasted arguably the greatest performance in this tournament's history, which kind of underlines that if you'd done a better job around the edges,
here it is.
This is the problem. McDavid has been unbelievable. Tied for the most points while facing elimination in a single postseason. So Benajad had 11 in 6 in 22. And in 2014, the Kings, Williams, and Kopitar had 11 in 7 games played. Connor's only played 4.
The thing is, though, you need to be facing elimination. So
it's true. It's that's a part of it, no question. Okay. One guy missing. We talked about it already. Here's Frank's latest at Daily Faceoff. It's a good point. What about Dre? I think Jay-Z wrote that song. My last album was The Chronic.
Yeah.
Best playoff performer of his generation who averaged 10 points per series over the last 3 playoffs has just 2 in the Stanley Cup final. 1 big game from Draisaitl and Oilers win the cup, ? Leon, and 1 heavy lift. That's his article.
God, Frank loves the Oilers.
Oh, man. I get it. Like, he's got to be a demigod up there. Miami, they're just like, hey, wait your turn in line, fat boy.
Yeah,
And
they don't know
Edmonton,
who
he's
he
a
is.
goddamn hero.
Yeah. He's just some old guy.
Hey, Silver Fox, where's your senior discount card?
Shouldn't you have moved back to your regular home by now there, Snowbird?
They love him up there.
They do. Yeah.
Frank's no dummy either. He knows where his bread's buttered.
I guess.
Don't go wasting
We
it in
don't
Miami.
seem to.
No, we're idiots. That's been well established for quite some time. Jacob Markstrom, not young, Dean. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
34, I'm told.
What?
Yeah, here's extremely keen human Mike Gold. Only 3 starting goalies age 30 or older have been traded for first in the last 15 years. So Markstrom, yesterday, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Darcy Kemper, Colorado, first, third, and Timmins. That was an interesting deal because I don't know where we were at on Timmins at that point. He was very, very highly touted, and then quickly, this guy can't stay healthy or whatever it was. And then, of course, Miller and not Ottawa. That would be
Steve.
Buffalo to St. Louis for a first to third, Jarl Halak, and 2 others. So it's pretty rare air for a 30-plus-year-old goalie to get moved. Never mind 34. Markey, the oldest of those 3 goalies at the time. The Corey Schneider comp would have been a lovely one. He definitely wasn't over 30. He was right in his prime. Team control left. That was a huge Monster trade. They're number 9 overall. That turns out being Horvat, goes to Vancouver for Schneider. Felt like that was your ceiling. You weren't going to get more than that. And it certainly didn't sound that Dreger didn't paint the picture of a bidding war for Calgary so much as there were some conversations. No one came to the table except Jersey. And if that's the case, I don't mind the return.
And as Dreg said, it feels like Markstrom had kind of decided, New Jersey's a good spot. I'll go there.
I get it. He's a direct flight from Sweden.
Younger team.
Let's get young family. Team's going to win the next 2 years.
Sure.
It's a good group. And the biggest thing they were missing was health and a goalie. He can't do anything about health. He's not a doctor. He can certainly stop pucks.
So are fans cheering for him? Are they?
Yeah, why not?
Because I think fans would have liked to have seen, regardless, we can say it's a good trade, whatever. Fans wanted more. They always want more.
Yeah, and you know what? He gets hit with a lot in that second round loss to Edmonton. He, about 18 of the Flames on the 23-man roster were really bad that series.
Yeah, but
it's just he's goalie, so it's going to be the front
but
page
also
of the paper.
the level he was at in one series to the next.
But honestly, their top, I think it was Anderson and Hannafin playing together at the time. It was just turnstiles the whole series. What are we doing, fellas? Did you forget how to defend? Friggin' McDavid. Can we get some Olympic shit going on so we could cheer for this asshat?
Of all the guys to be on the wrong side of.
Frickin' lottery balls, Nenshi. Let's tip our cap. Someone hung up the blades today, and it's a guy that's spent some time around here. He's got a place in the Columbia Valley. Andrew Cogliano. There it is. Calling it a career.
Oilers first-round pick.
He warmed up on us, though. Then he went to Dallas and Colorado. Not in Colorado. He played in California, then finished in Colorado. Were incredibly durable. I don't know if you noticed that.
Hey, it was a Duck, right?
Yeah.
An Av, obviously.
Yeah. Durable. Look at this. Games missed per season.
Yeah.
0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2, 4, 1, 2, 8, 3, 7.
Selfish.
27 games missed in 17 years.
A lot of other guys really wanted to play, but he said, no, I'm playing. Well, we're younger than you. We just want a shot. No.
You can't take his job. You don't get the job. That's
how many games this year? 82? I'm just going to play all of them.
This year's 0. Room for someone else in Colorado.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah. You'd mentioned the Gio thing. I also noted that as well. We can flash the graphic here or just move on. It's multiple years is an interesting quote from
well, of course.
Agent.
Yeah. He's decided he's going to play for a few more years.
Obvi. And that's good news for people younger than Gio because you were very close to being older than anyone playing in the NHL.
Yeah. I would like him to find a job.
Yeah, I think so. It'd be neat. If it happened here, it's a good angle.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's high probability, but it would be a fun story.
Sure, it would.
And this year I'm not sure what the fun stories are going to be. Wolf will be fun, but it's another 3 free agents and a couple of guys 2 years away that probably you could trade. Now that's going to be the overarching thing.
Yeah, the Wolf thing will be fun until he struggles. Then it's get some help for this kid. You're ruining him.
Well, and I think they will. Vladar's, we mentioned it yesterday. He'll be skating in the next 2 to 4 weeks is what I've heard.
But even on defense is
and that's why I think a guy like Bahl comes in. I think that's why they'll be active on July 1. They'll dip their toe in the defensive pond. If this team actually is good defensively and just can't score, that's probably a more likely outcome. You look at the number of players that are very good on your half of the puck, like Backlund, Coleman, Kadri's 200-foot player, Uyghur, very good defensive player, Bahl, defense first. There's a lot of responsible defenders. I just don't know where the goals are.
This appears to be not a very good hockey club.
Yeah, but it's not going to be the San Jose we lost 7-4 hockey club is kind of what I'm pitching you.
Okay.
We lost 3-1 again.
I'll table it till later.
We got a lot of time to tackle that.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. Cavs game day. Tommy, let's go, buddy. They're top of the table, Atletico. There's our boy, Marco Carducci. Marco Carducci.
It's got a good salad.
Yeah, it's good luck going for him.
Yeah.
Good kid. And look, see that picture over his shoulder? Guess who that is?
Is that Boston kid? Is he at the parade?
It's young Marco.
Oh.
Growing up in Calgary. What a guy. It is minor soccer night. There'll be all kinds of kids taking in the action. Good luck to the fellas tonight against a very good Atletico Ottawa club.
There you go.
Surge were in action last night. They facing the Saskatchewan Rattlers. Scotty action. This is Ruggsy, our boy. Miller Moore for 3. Game over. Curtains. Hit the showers. That's it, fellas. There's your walk-off. They weren't excited about that in Saskatchewan.
No, they didn't feel that.
Yeah, the energy was not where I thought it would be at Winsport, for example.
Was that the game winner?
That's it. Walked him off. That's why it's dead quiet.
Was that a tray?
I believe that was a tray.
Jack,
can you confirm that was a tray? Let's go back. He's going to watch the toes here.
Okay.
There's 2 lines there. It is a little.
Yeah, that's a tray.
All right.
Now, apparently there's a documentary that either has come out or is going to come out that involves Bret the Hitman Hart about WCW. And it might be called Who Killed WCW or something along the lines of what the hell happened at WCW. I thought of you immediately and your soundboard when I saw this teaser for the Hitman doc on WCW. And this is actually filmed at the Hitman Bar, Cowboys Casino.
Very good witness to the madness that was WCW. I've got lots to say about it. What a bunch of idiots, imbeciles, stupid as it gets. Stupid, clueless idiot, a bunch of clueless nuts. Is there anybody here that's got any brains? Stupid, stupid, stupid every day, every night. So stupid. Just really stupid. The biggest cutthroat, bunch of conniving, backstabbing idiots you've ever seen in your life. That is such bullshit. It's the work of an idiot. Pathetic, really stupid idiots. Are you an idiot? Lost idiot? He was the shits. You will always be seen as a complete failure. The term motherfuckers would have been crossing my mind pretty regular. Thanks for nothing. Go fuck yourselves.
That's the Hitman right
How
there.
could I not love the Hitman more? I just gained another layer.
The Hitman loves wrestling. He loves the business.
Yeah,
he was
so if
born
people are
into it.
messing with it, they're gonna get some.
Yeah, and when people don't have the same level of respect for it, and that he has very little time for that.
Yeah, it's your point. He grew up in a family that promoted and ran events. Like if S was going sideways somewhere else, he's like gonna notice it for everyone. He's like, what are you doing here? This is not how you do this.
He went from being the biggest star in the WWF at the time, and went to WCW, and like the first thing they did with him is make him a referee.
What?
Like they just had no idea what to do with him. They bought so many of these old guys, the Savages and Hogans. They just had all these guys, and he just got lost in the shuffle. But yeah, I look forward to that that was kind of in my late teens, early 20s kind of thing. I was still kind of enjoying wrestling at that point in my life. So yeah, it'd be good stuff. But yeah, it was a rodeo for sure.
What do we talk to about getting that without the music in the background? Because that's a soundboard.
Just for some drops.
Yeah.
Stupid. So stupid.
Idiots.
Yeah.
The term mother.
Hitman. Love the Hitman.
Let's head to the air, Dean. It's time for some dumb shit to send us into the weekend.
Good.
We'll start here. It looks like just a normal hike, right? Wrong. And who's filming this? Oh, he jumped too. Got it. Okay. Careful. Careful. There's not a lot of room for error there. You know, it's like, oh, he's jumping as far as he can. You're like, he's 15 feet from dying. Never mind if the parachute doesn't open.
I don't understand.
I'm guessing the first beer you have after one of those jumps is the tastiest kind of beer there's ever been. Parking lot beer is right up there. Shower beer is good. First beer after a road trip where you arrive and you can your car's unpacked. You got there. You got to the lake. That beer is really good. Do you have anything else to submit? That might be this beer right here might be better.
You're going to walk to the edge and look at some point. Before you do that, I'm guessing you kind of assess the situation. What about that?
You're like, I think I can clear it.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, I'm rolling.
You crazy?
Yeah, they are crazy. This is crazy too. More parkour again in the algorithm.
You love parkour.
It's just finding me. I'm not finding that. Oh, like we're talking 10 inches of death there, Dean. What are we doing? There's no safety nets.
There has to be,
like his heels are over the edge.
The stories of failure. But I don't know that I see a lot in the news.
They're filming people dying is what we're getting out here. That
is there now?
Well, I mean, they're filming all these things. They're not making 100% of them. Ugh. Don't like it. This guy's cool. He found a way to connect his keyboard to a computer screen and draw things. See if we can figure out what he's going to do. Golf club, what are we?
Arm. Thumbs up.
Oh, the song.
I mean,
I don't know why I love that so much.
Well, Jack loves it too. You can hear him chortling in the
I
background.
saw it. I'm like, Boom's going to love this. Because it's stupid as hell. And some guy spent half his life perfecting that.
Yeah, he sure did.
It's called Glassies. Okay. Good luck with your get rich slow thing.
So, son, how's the new job going? Great. Is that your Harvard diploma in the background? No, it's not. Hey, okay, good.
By the way, Dad, if you could just another month with rent, I'm so close.
I'm so close. I had a great interview today. Okay, son. Well, let me know how it works out.
We talked to some investors. They really like the thumbs up. Mm-hmm. Let's get to the Gator portion. We got 4 segments today.
Good.
This is Gator A. Fishing. Hey, this is you when you want to. What would you do if you didn't have to work, Dean?
Gotta get fishing. That thing in the boat in a hurry, boy.
Oh,
we're done.
Yeah, you sure got it.
Holy shit.
Hey, what are you guys doing?
Got any more?
You got any more bait? I love bait.
No, if you're actually fishing for crocodiles, that is the bait.
Are you using minnows or worms in there? What do you got? Some night crawlers? What are you guys doing later? Once I digest this big pike, I'm going to be looking for a laydown. You guys want to hang out?
Let's go to Gator B. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Doesn't look like Gator in good shape, Dean. Do you like the dramatic music?
Yeah, it's the slow-mo and that's some croc on croc crime there.
Look at the size of this saltwater croc. We're estimating, and who knows, it's the internet, 1,800 kilos?
100 feet long?
The size of the Florida Panhandle?
Well, it looks like water you'd like to go take a dip. So be careful. There could be crocs in there.
That's the Chocolate Milk River. There are crocodiles there.
Yeah. Diarrhea
Look
Falls.
at this angle here. Oh, whoa. Good Lord. It's a big one. Gator C.
Yep.
What is this? The fancy restaurant? What do we got here? Yeah. So check this out. Looks like we're at a sushi restaurant. And you love how intricate some of the designs are by the chefs, right? Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, they taped his mouth, Dean. What's the croc going to do?
Yeah, he's got a elastic band or something on his jib.
He's got some electrical tape on his yap.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah. And finally, Gator D. This will be your favorite one. It's kind of cute. Oh, no. We got more gators. Sorry. What are we doing? These people, they got the bait. They're trying to bring them over.
What are they in? Some sort of a glass cylinder?
They're in a beaker. I don't know. They're in a test tube for humans. Oh.
So did you save all the croc videos from yesterday for me for today? Because I wasn't here yesterday.
Comes in waves, Dean.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a different beast. Jack didn't have a lot of time for the Pinder Report yesterday. We had a top secret guest we've been hinting about. Do you think we have one more gator? We'll have to leave it for another time, or maybe it's just right here. Yeah, here it is. There's gator.
Well, you know, you live in Florida when the cranes are chasing an alligator across the street.
Cranes don't give an F, Dean. Look at this.
Really?
Oh, it's a little one, eh?
I'm not familiar with the crane.
Watch this. So what they do.
I mean, Fraser.
Crane wins.
See how skinny the legs are? As if the croc would need that, right?
Yeah.
But then look what they do. They get big. They're like, no. Well, we're bigger than you.
Are they?
Oh, he changed his mind.
They're like,
Maybe
get back
looking
to
for
the
some
swamp.
action.
Good idea.
The
Go
swamp,
back to
you
the pond, buddy. It's
Running
hot
around.
today.
Hey. Look at my
Can you
plumage.
see him?
Yeah, hard. He live his.
Are you getting a load of my plumage?
Oh my gosh, it's fast.
Yeah. He's going back.
I don't want your plumage.
That's all I got for Crocs today. Sorry to let you down. Now, the Shoveler and Rhett, they got a new pet. More cat people than dogs. Did you know that? I guess you kind of do.
Well, I know they're not really dog people.
Love
At least
cats,
one
eh?
of them isn't. Yep.
So the Shoveler, I mean, this is cute. Usually cats don't like water.
It's true.
So hard to give them.
Where are we at here?
Well, I'm skipping ahead of you. I'm sorry.
This is my favorite part. When there's so much dumb shit, you lose track. The dead silence. That's like, please, Jack, please open your mic. Please say something. You didn't send that in.
You know what?
I don't know,
You know
what
what?
we're doing.
Let's go to the bear playing with the human cube. Let's do that. That's fine. Again, not unlike the people in the test tube.
Yeah.
How did you think this was going to go? What did you see this going differently?
How thick's the plexi on this thing?
Not thick enough. She's freaking out.
Yeah.
Bear's like, yeah, we're playing craps again today. Who are the idiots we put inside?
And there again, that's not one of those things where you're just on an average afternoon, he's just sitting around in your plexiglass cube and some bear comes up and starts causing shit.
You've signed up for that shit.
You're in.
That's not your house. That's not where you normally hang out and film stuff. You're going into the Bears property. Get some dog action. What do we got with dogs, Jack? I know we got some dogs.
Gente, é cachorro isso. O cachorro botou pescoço aqui no telhado.
It's a good boy. Look at that, Dino.
Ih, gente, é gato.
Not either.
Because of the spots on its arse.
I was sure that was a
it looked like a dog with a
lab
with a shower cap on, maybe
those
sitting in the hot tub.
White, blonde, yellow
spa
labs.
day for Rover.
Nope, just a cat.
No, it's a cat.
Now can we get to the Shovelers? Thank you. My apologies. And that cat has one day where they wake up on the wrong side of the cat pillow. You have no arm. That's the Shoveler, though. She's brave.
Yep.
There you go. All right. Finally, this one took a twist at the end.
When you said there's a cougar sponge bath, I thought that was going to go a lot differently than that.
That's a different show.
When do we do that show?
We actually can't comment on that show publicly yet. Now, this starts out very concerning because certain things we can all agree on. And, adults can't be beating up kids. Never mind people hired to take care of children.
Okay.
Let's have a watch. This is in New York.
Lunchbox. Oh, boy.
Get off the bus, yo! Get off the bus! Oh my gosh, what's that thing on?
That's a kid. You can't do that to a kid, Dean. Everyone's on the bus driver. No good. He's like, get out of here. I'm getting back on the bus. What the hell's going on here?
It's terrible treatment, yeah.
Can't do that to kids. But what if it's tiny dude that's dressed up like a kid? I don't know. I just don't know. I have no comments. Bewildered.
Tiny dude.
Kid backpack.
Did you struggle with what to call that gentleman?
Jack Labels. You can read.
What's the appropriate and acceptable terminology for this gentleman in 2024?
That was kid bus toss.
Little dude.
Kid bus toss.
Actually, it's an adult.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Many days I'll have to sort out the Pinder Report as they're labeled by Jack, and he'd be like, idiot, or like, what's going on? I'm like, Jack, I don't know what these clips are. That's half of them are all idiots. That's it, my friend.
See, this is Boom loved it. Great. You know what?
As long as Boom likes it or hates it, we're good. If he's indifferent,
that's right.
We've lost the plot.
Yeah. No, that's all
your
right.
Pinder Report on a Friday.
Brought to you by Village Honda. Yes, we've talked about the dealership group, the Wood Automotive Group, and lucky for you and lucky for all of us, Village Honda is a part of it. So when you go looking for a pre-owned vehicle at Village and you don't see right what's, exactly up your alley, you sit down, you take a look and have a chat with the good folks, the sales staff at Village Honda, and they're going to find what it is you're looking for without you having to run around town, wasting time, gas, money, all of it. It's all there for you. Your dealership for life is Village Honda.
VillageHonda.com. Go get it.
.com. Oh, the Daily Face-Off.
Oh, I didn't even mention it.
Yeah.
Canada played Argentina last night.
Okay, good.
Messi against Canada.
Daily Face-Off live free agency special, July 1st. 9 a.m. till noon on the Daily Face-Off YouTube channel. Tyler Yaremchuk, who will be heartbroken by then. He'll maybe just be coming outside.
He's been doing the Lucky Undies thing. At least he'll be in fresh ginch, right?
I guess. NHL insider Frank Seravalli, who will just be getting over the sadness.
It's a tough out, buddy.
Former NHLers Carter Hutton, Colby Cohen, guests from across the league, going to break down the trades, the impact on the teams involved, predict the future of free agents, and, of course, the inside scoop and all the wheeling and dealing going on in the league on July 1. 9 a.m. till noon. You can catch the action live on the Daily Face-Off YouTube channel. It's the Daily Face-Off live free agency special.
Better Frank than us, tell you that, for free.
Well, we don't expect the Flames to be particularly active. There's already a free agency special being done by gentlemen on the
yeah, and there's going to be all kinds of guys that you'll want to hear about signing that aren't signing with the Flames that Frank's more
right.
ready to talk about than we are. Not to mention Tyler and the other I played in the NHL. Look at me, guys.
Colby Cohen. I remember when he broke into the league. I was like, the Avalanche got another good young player.
Is that right?
Yep.
I don't remember that.
Carter Hutton.
Do you remember Carter?
Sure you do.
Good pred.
Sure you do. And speaking of things that are happening very soon, our friends at Origin. Now, we've been telling you, I didn't stop in, but I drove by the new location in town.
Really?
Because Origin you know the story. Started in Strathmore, malting, brewing, tap room. The family farm is just moments away. They've been doing it for 5 generations.
It's like vertically integrated, the only like farm to glass brewery in the country. It's crazy stuff.
It's impressive. They now have a location in Calgary. So they have the brewery and tap room in Strathmore. They've got a brewery and tap room in Calgary. And they're still true to their roots, though.
Yeah.
Don't think they're getting all fat and sassy, getting all big for their britches because they got a Calgary location now. It's not their way.
You grew up on a farm, you're 5th generation, you're not getting too big for your britches.
Coming up, it is their annual birthday party. The 7th annual birthday party out in Strathmore, in behind the tap room and the brewery. They set up the big tent, live music. They serve Origin beer, which might surprise you. Cold beer, food trucks, live music. Drew Gregory. He's a hell of a He's a hell of a performer.
All right.
I'm a big fan. Doors open at 6. And by doors, they just mean they pull the tent. It just opens.
Yeah, it's a huge deal out there.
It is a
place to be.
Big deal.
This is Grand Central Station in Strathmore.
Yeah.
And I'm already slurring just thinking about it.
So, I mean, that's coming up, but we know how summer is.
It's August long, friends.
You got to make your plans, get things set up. All of us went last year. Heck of a time.
Slid through at different times. It was not. I passed through noon. Things were moving.
I was there later and encountered 2 inebriated Sutters. I'll leave it at that. It's up to you to guess which 2.
Would have taken the over. Interesting.
Yeah. Only 2. Just 2. Just 2. So that's coming up August long weekend. Hoping to be out there for that once again this year.
I could just get out there and do a show or something, but not with all the drunks around. We're gonna do it before that.
I don't want to do a show. I just want to go out and drink.
Yeah, I do too.
Right.
But if I'm just telling my wife I got to do a show out there, then we actually get out there.
Right.
I'm just gonna go out and just drink with some Sutter guys at the Origin place.
Yeah.
Get piled up.
It's work, babe.
Stumble into the back.
Now, would she go on and see if you actually did a show? I was on YouTube looking for your show from Origin, and I didn't see it.
Yeah, we're uploading that one. It's a one-time special, babe.
Yeah, we got some heavy post-production.
Yeah.
A lot of elements we got to put into that.
Graphics.
A lot of it.
You're right.
Animation show. Some graphics got to put in there. That's coming up. And again, if the Oilers just want to stop playing hockey, we can start with some.
Again, common thread here. Let's go.
The Oilers
Panthers
standing in the way of everyone's fun. Speaking of fun, do you like having fun in the bedroom?
Oh,
Optimize your sexual function with Aroused, the Mod Medical Clinic. BeAroused.ca is their website. And guys, we have fun, hey, my old back's getting old. My back's giving me a hard time. I got to take pills for my kidneys.
shoulder.
I'm sneezing all the time.
God damn it. Yeah.
There are some things that we don't really kind of joke about. It's a little more sensitive, but if we talked about it a little bit more, we'd know that it doesn't have to be something that you're living with.
At least just talk to an expert about it. You don't have to talk to me about it.
For those popping the blue pill, consider a non-medication approach. It's Viasure medical therapy to optimize your life in the bedroom and the bathroom. So you're talking bladder control. You're talking about muscle function. You're talking about the blood vessels in the penis. It's pelvic floor physiotherapy. The old pelvic floor, your core of the pelvic floor controls a lot down there.
It's a lot of things to hold down there.
A lot of what's going on kind of equatorish and south of the equator.
Yeah.
Pelvic floor.
You'll saddle. If it's strong, everything's good.
The Aroused team will help you with incontinence, sexual performance, hip and lower back pain, assist the stabilization of the core to optimize mobility. You learn all about more about this. BeAroused.ca. I can keep kind of stammering around it, but totally honest. BeAroused.ca as we kind of just strip away all the nonsense. Be real. As men get older, the body changes. And there's no need to live with some of that stuff that you think is just part of growing old. It's not. And they can definitely help you. There are some serious benefits to be had here. And a lot of times covered under extended health benefits.
If you're getting up 4 or 5 times in the middle of the night to piss, that's no fun at all.
It's no
no
fun.
good for anyone. And, oh, by the way, it might help sexual performance. That feels like a double
That's
win.
fantastic. Self-esteem, your potty breaks, and especially now. So BeAroused.ca.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I was going to say, especially now, because we're not supposed to flush our toilet as much. The less you're peeing, the less water you're using.
If you're flushing, you're a 6-time pisser. That's a lot of water you're wasting.
I bet the Mod Medical Clinic never even thought of that as a
think of all the water saving
as a bonus.
Their environmental footprint. Thank you, Mod.
Thank you, guys. Pelvic floor. I might go get them to look at my pelvic floor. See what kind of
feedback they have.
Yeah.
Dean, this is a wonderful pelvic floor.
We've got some well, there's some rough spots. We won't lie to you. We're taking a look around, and it's not, hey, don't get us wrong, it's not terrible, but maybe some we'll pull up the lino. We'll take a look underneath, see what kind of if we got hardwood, what we got under there, and we'll go from there.
Think about putting a fern here, maybe a little sitting chair.
Yeah,
carpet in here.
It's been nice little area rug, bring it all together.
Yeah.
And hey, maybe we can put it on your benefits.
That sounds great.
My wife's very excited.
Aren't we all?
Babe, let's talk about my pelvic floor.
New flooring.
It's Friday. After all. Jack, what kind of week have you had, buddy? You've had a hell of a week. You're the VIP of the show.
Pinder put me through the ringer this week.
It's all for a good cause, fella. It's called Summer Slacking.
We are getting set for the summer schedule of the show, which will kick in probably again as soon as the Oilers want to stop playing hockey.
We're kind of committed for next week with the draft, but once the draft's done, we are so ready to.
You know what? That's a good point. Some of it's moving targets.
Okay.
And what the shows are going to look like, because you're going to the draft.
Yep.
I'm going to Manitoba.
I'm not expecting much in the way of Rhett or Boomer from Wednesday to Friday.
No,
next
you
week.
shouldn't be that way.
No, and I'd love to check in, but you shouldn't be hosting the show from Manitoba if we're at the draft in Vegas. So we could check in and have a chat. That's fine.
Okay.
But you're not hosting the damn show Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I will be. We're going to be poolside.
Oh. The draft is in Vegas. The Flames pick 9th. We are going to be there and on it. Now, who all from, because again, you got Daily Face Off, you got the Nation Network, Oilers Nation, Flames Nation, the guys in Vancouver. It's a huge contingent of people going down.
Yeah, I think for the purposes of this show, what's important, Stephen Ellis, our draft prospect guru at Daily Faceoff, will be there. Frank's going to be down there, obviously. I imagine Craig Button, who's done some work on our network at times, he'll be down there. And then some of the markets are heading down. Obviously, with the Flames selecting at 9 and 28, it's a huge 24 hours for Craig Conroy and his draft team. And we'll be lining up conversations surrounding those 8 picks in the first 4 rounds, those 2 first rounders, and maybe he ain't done dealing. It was the day before the draft that Toffoli moved last year. We were at stinking O'Hare Airport when we got the news.
That's right. And then we were live from a patio or something.
We were a rooftop bar in Nashville.
At the Westin or something like that, as I recall. It was decent. So we're going to, today's Friday. We're back next week. We are putting together our summer catalog of shows. It'll be a reduced schedule. We'll be on a couple days a week. Doing some of the shows will be live. We'll just check in from summer, see how things are going, catch up. Some of the stuff as well is going to be conversations that we've collected over the past days, weeks, months, sort of things. Let's be honest, last few days. That was a lot of what this week was, sitting down with some people and getting some things in the can.
Yeah,
some business term there for you, in the can. Yeah. And we'll be trotting those out. Included in there, we expect will be a sit down with Craig Conroy before he heads to Vegas and the draft.
And so that will air on this very YouTube station before the draft begins. That's probably where that would make the most sense.
And again, as soon as the Oilers quit playing hockey, we can probably nail that down for you. But we'll have on our socials and everywhere, we'll have full details on when that drops.
Should also mention today at 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock, yeah.
2 o'clock, Jack, the draft primer will run. A 2-hour show. Ryan Pike, myself, we start with a look at the Flames organization. What do we got? What are the Flames missing? Where are the needs? And then we bring in Derek Neumeyer of McKean's, as well as Byron Bader of hockeyprospecting.com to talk about basically the top 15 guys. A lot on who are they? What do they like? What are the concerns? Where's the ceiling? Is it more this or more that? And we walk through those 5 to 6 defensemen you'll expect to see gone in the top dozen. Obviously, TJ Ginla gets a fair amount of conversation. And then the studs at the top of the draft, including some that might slide into that 9 hole where the Flames like, shoot, we think this guy was going to be here.
Yeah.
That'll air at 2 today. So make sure if you're trying to get brushed up on draft stuff before next Friday when round 1 begins, that's your one-stop shop. And we'll also have a live mock draft running Monday, Jack.
Monday at 1 p.m.
And that'll be with Cam Robinson, who does great work at Elite Prospects, and Stephen Ellis, our draft and prospect guru at dailyfaceoff.com. 1 p.m. Monday.
So there you go. That starts all next week. There's going to be some additional content. This show will maybe look a little different. It might just be a sit-down interview, but you're going to be in Vegas. We'll be
Wednesday,
on all
Thursday, Friday.
Points to be determined there. And then the week after, Frank and the boys are doing July 1. We'll come on July 2 and
see what's happening.
Talk about all the big names the Flames have signed in the previous 24 hours.
The Rune Dog.
Yeah, that was a day one.
That was a day winner.
Yeah. Steven Stamkos. Didn't see that coming. And of course, next week we'll have visits with Dreger and Frank and all that as well.
That'll probably be, fellas, go enjoy your summer. Let's recap what we've seen. Where are things at?
Yeah.
And I will say this, like the Flames, I don't think will sit on their hands and do nothing July 1, but what I think they're trying to do is hard to do. They want to say, hey, we like you, defensemen, but we're not going to mess around with term. We got to be really careful with term. We'll pay you a little more on the AAV because we're swimming in cap space on maybe a 2-year deal instead of 3 or 4. The challenge is, if I'm that player, why am I going to Calgary on a 2-year when I do have 3 and 4 year offers elsewhere, albeit maybe at lower AAV? It's a higher total dollar, and a lot of other teams are more competitive than the Flames, if we're being honest with ourselves.
Yeah, and I think part of that could be, too, you look at what it did for Eric Branson. He came in at the last minute, signed a deal, parlayed it into a 4-year, $4 million per. So you're going to get ice time. You're going to get responsibility. You're going to get leadership role. There may not be winning, but you're going to get minutes and eyeballs.
It's going to be... I agree with that entirely. The Branson comp is perfect because it wasn't July 1, and it was when a lot of their favorite options weren't there.
Yeah.
That guy said, you know what? This actually may be a really good spot for me to boost my value. Like he came in
and his stock had fallen
1.95 and left on a 4x4.
Yeah.
1 year work.
Decent. Now, Columbus, maybe. Did the guy that signed that deal, is he still in under employ of the Blue Jackets? No, he's not. Kekalainen. So anyway, hey, good Branson, don't be mad at me. I'm just trotting it out there. They signed you to a 4-year, $4 million per, and then got fired. Timing, maybe.
July 2, we'll find out if Nikita Zadorov's on his 5th or 6th team.
Yeah. So that means he's done in Vancouver, right? With the Hronik thing?
They could do it, but I think they're really prioritizing Jake Gensel. So if they can't reel in Gensel, which would be a big fish, the fit, apparently, the player, the team, everyone loves the fit. Yeah. But he's going to command $9.5 to $10 million a year. He's already, 30, 31? Where do you go on term? But if you could add one more dynamic forward to that group that's already got Besser and Miller and Pettersson and some really nice, hardworking parts, that probably costs you Zadorov for sure. And then there's still this, okay, we actually like Tyler Myers when he's a third pair. It's just like, yeah, that's why you signed him out of Winnipeg. He's a third pair. Low money, short-term deal, that could work. But Ian Cole's a UFA, Zadorov as well. You can't keep everyone. And if you're chasing Gensel, it's going to cost you Zadorov for sure. Never mind. You know Zadorov. He's just going to go top dollar. Minutes and dollars.
Yeah, so I don't know how I got there. I got stammering around. But anyway, so there's always things to talk about. There's always stuff going on when it comes to the hockey world. And we'll be over it the next couple of weeks. Right now, let's get to the Betway bets of the day before we bid you adieu. Betway. Get a free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses. You got to be creating a new account. That's the thing.
Yeah, you can't be doing this all the time.
Yeah.
You put Betway out of business. You don't want that.
Scan the QR code on the screen, redeem the bonus, you place your bet. If it doesn't come through, no minimum amount required on that bet. You'll get a refund up to $200. You can then use that to bet on your favorite sports.
Damn.
Offer only available outside of Ontario. Only.
That's it.
Out of Ontario.
Look who's back for the Blue Jays, Dean. Yariel Rodriguez, the Cuban. This is a very low strikeout total for a guy that's been lights out at AAA, getting tuned up. Now, not AAA batters in Cleveland, fair to say. Very good team, the Guardians, this year. But I really like the over 3.5 strikeouts today for Yariel, who had a great start to the season for the Blue Jays. Had to go on the IL, and they've since been building him up in Buffalo. Netherlands, France, that's a 1 o'clock start this afternoon. That should be an absolute banger.
Now, is it all of the Netherlands or just Netherlands?
Good question. Jack, can you, how many of the Dutch will be there?
I don't know.
But what about Holland?
I think it's just Netherland.
Lind?
The Netherland versus France.
Close. We're going to take the Netherlands to win that straight up. It's a bit of an upset special. I love the Dutch, the way they've played heading into this thing. France was just okay against Austria in their first game. Plus 225 for the Dutch. You wearing orange today? You like the Dutch? I
had my orange thong on today. Yeah.
Yeah, there you are. Yeah. That's all the inspiration they needed.
Well, plus 225, man. Yeah.
Show them your undercarriage.
My
floor,
pelvic floor.
Yeah.
Yep, pelvic floor.
Go Dutch.
Nothing.
You go to Amsterdam in the Netherlands.
Really compliments.
They got a whole part of town that specializes in pelvic floors.
Is anyone here that specializes in pelvic flooring? We actually have a deal on pelvic flooring.
We got a whole part of town.
Yeah.
Basically, what kind of flooring are you looking
pelvic
for?
Flooring upgrade. Yeah. It's not a laughing matter, guys. Appreciate you. Enjoy the weekend.
Done with this series.
Yeah.
So done with it.
Yeah. Go Panthers. That'd be great. And again, it's not an Oiler thing. It's just we want to start summer. That's all. We just want to start summer.
And it's an Oiler thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's right.
Personally.
That's right. Be good. Be safe. Have a fine one. We'll talk to you next week. See you, buddies.